When this mother had triplets, the chances of their birth were 1 in a million. When Terry Nobles discovered that she was expecting triplets, she was unsurprisingly astonished. However, at that point, she probably didn't realize just how rare her babies were. Due to the circumstances surrounding the pregnancy, however, the birth of Nobles' 3 children would be a 1 in a million occurrence. Nobles and her partner Mario Aguirre live in Joliet, Illinois and, luckily, neither of them is adverse to large families. When they had first met, however, the couple had only 3 young children between them. Nobles, for instance, had a son named Logan from a previous relationship. Meanwhile, Aguirre had 2 further children, daughter Brooklyn and son Mateo, also from a prior romance. Then, in 2015 the couple looked set to welcome another addition to their brood. Nobles had fallen pregnant, and the couple were presumably delighted to be adding a child of their own to their blended family. However, that's when they got a surprise. At a doctor's appointment, Noble and Aguirre discovered that she was in fact pregnant with twins, and the news that there were 2 babies to come was apparently a shock to the pair. We went to the doctor, and he said there were 2 sacs. We just stared at each other, Nobles revealed to Chicago-based radio station WLS in March 2018. Unfortunately, though, the journey was not without heartbreak. Nobles and Aguirre lost one of their twin boys, Victor, during the birth. His brother Marcel survived, however, and soon joined his brothers at home. But despite the tragedy, Nobles and Aguirre still wanted to expand their family. What's more, with 3 boys and 1 girl under their roof, the couple thought that they could even things out a bit if they fell pregnant with a daughter. So, when, in 2017, Nobles learned that she was expecting for the 3rd time, both she and Aguirre were hopeful that this time a girl was on the way. However, that dream was not to be. That's because Nobles and Aguirre soon discovered that they weren't just pregnant with 1 more boy, but 3 of them in total. Yes, Nobles was carrying triplets, and frankly she couldn't have been more surprised. Speaking to Inside Edition in April 2018, Nobles revealed, "I didn't think I would even have a chance of having multiples again. I was even surprised the first time when I had the twins, so I was just really shocked." And it wasn't just Nobles who was surprised. The sequence of her pregnancies had left even her doctors astonished. According to her medical team, the chances of falling pregnant with 1, then 2, then 3 babies were 1 in a million. Furthermore, in her 25-year career, Nobles neonatologist Dr. Vibe Haben-Faker said that she'd never seen such a grouping of births. Just to have the triplets with 1 set of identical twins is about 1 in 100,000 to 1 in 250,000, and then with her history it is very hard to put the numbers. "I tried to see, but I couldn't find a story like hers," she told WLS. In addition, the fact that Nobles and Aguirre had conceived triplets without fertility treatments was in itself unusual. And considering that neither mom nor dad have experience of multiple births in their families, the triplets were even more of a miracle. However, Aguirre wasn't that shocked to learn that his other half was carrying 3 babies. "I wasn't surprised," he told Inside Edition. "I was like, I guess the universe had it already in the stars for us. It's a super blessing. We are very happy." Prior to the birth, the expectant parents began to gather supplies for the triplets. Fortunately, they had plenty of baby clothes from Marcel that they could reuse. Another priority was stocking up on diapers, of which they'd need plenty. Then, on March 8, 2018, Nobles and Aguirre finally welcomed their triplets, whom they named Santino, Andres, and Vincent. The babies had arrived prematurely at Advocate Good Samaritan Hospital in Downers Grove, where their mom had been for over 3 weeks after going into early labor, and it turned out that Andres and Santino were identical twins, while Vincent was a fraternal triplet. Santino was the smallest of the 3, weighing just 3 pounds, 7 ounces. However, the babies all spent a couple of weeks in neonatal intensive care to ensure that they were fit before going home. Luckily, though, when that time came, Nobles and Aguirre had a whole support team around them. Both their families lived close to the pair and had promised to lend a hand. And any help the couple could get would prove invaluable, since they were now the proud parents of 7 children. However, while Nobles and Aguirre have people to turn to for aid, Their family is so unique that other parents struggle to offer any advice. There is no one I know with a similar situation, Aguirre told the Chicago Tribune in March 2018. I have had a lot of good lucks and holy cows. Still, even though the parents' futures suddenly looked set to become a lot busier, Aguirre wouldn't have had things any other way. It is unique, and a blessing, and as we mentioned, we are short one child. We still feel it is not enough, he told WLS. Nobles was much less open-minded when it came to adding more children to their brood, however. If we were to get pregnant again, there would be probably 4, with my luck. It would be a blessing, don't get me wrong. But I think we cut it off after the 3, she said. Please share this heart-touching story with your friends and family and subscribe our channel for more.